Hey guys, Nathan James here. I'm here with Nathan Howe, and we're doing a podcast today for the Fitness Cartel for all the questions you've asked. So welcome to the show, Nathan.
Thanks for having me.
I nearly said welcome to the show, Nathan James. That's me, by the way.
Anyway, thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
All right, so we've had a lot of people asking, and I know that you're a very skilled personal trainer, so that's why we've got you here, and you're also one of our ambassadors, which is, I'm not sure why you're laughing when I said skilled.
Yeah. No. It's definitely my trait, that's for sure.
Absolutely. I thought you must have thought I was a highly skilled trainer. That's why you're laughing. Anyway, I'm not the highly skilled trainer, it's him. So today, basically, one of the questions we've been asked over and over again, and probably myself too, is what's your number one tip for people that have come out of COVID, may have eaten a little bit too much, well, actually maybe eaten a lot like me. We've put a little bit extra body fat on. What are your tips? Tell us what's the fast track.
I think the biggest thing that I've noticed with all my clients is, staying consistent and not looking at the scales. So when it comes to, checking your body fat and, at your weight, there's so many different variables when it comes to, what's in your weight. So your muscle source, your waters, your fats and all that stuff as well. So I've told my clients to not weigh themselves every week or every day as such, and just take it back to basics. So check in maybe every fortnight.
Yep.
With myself is probably the biggest thing, and just watching what they eat.
All right. And is it fair to say that the body can fluctuate 2 to 3 kilos a day? Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely. And especially if they weigh themselves, it's different times of the day as well, regarding how much water they've had or how much food they've digested as well. Even for females, it could be, that time of the month as well, which fluctuates even more. So,
yeah. And
females are the ones that really get hit hard by seeing their weight. So, yeah. So it's always a tricky question when it comes to that. So
absolutely, yeah. I've had my experience with females I know too. That they do stand on the scales and they're like, oh my god, I'm weight. I'm like, but the question I've always said, and you'll probably agree with me, if you weighed exactly the same but you lost 3 kilos of fat or 2 kilos of fat, or maybe you didn't even change at all in the scales, but your waist was smaller, you were more defined, would you be happy?
Yeah, definitely.
And the answer is yes, every single time.
So just even going off by how you fit your clothes is a good thing. Sometimes, and that's all it is. Sometimes that's all you need to do is just make sure you feel good, you look good, and that's the biggest thing.
It's funny you mention that because I do have a set of what we call fat pants. And then
elastic.
If I can't fit into those pants, or not so much elastic because that means I'm tricking myself. More so the fact that once I get too fat and I can't do up my pants, that's when it's time to change it all. So they are very tight fitting, but if they get too tight fitting and I'm there and you're uncomfortable and you can't move.
Yeah.
So I do know, and I guess my tip would be don't buy big, loose, wide clothes because you kind of, like you said.
Definitely.
I like that idea, actually.
Buy something smaller so you've got even a goal to move towards.
I'm just running down, buy a small bikini for All right. My next question, and so the scales is number one. Check in with your trainer. What else would you recommend?
Just being consistent with some sort of training is a half an hour to an hour a day. Something, as long as you're moving around and burning some sort of calories. Because at the end of the day, if you wanted to lose some sort of body fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit. Calories in, calories out. So if you're eating heaps, you need to be training just as much. So.
Just so I'm clear too, because I know people have that misconception of calories in, calories out too.
Yeah.
If I starve myself and just eat KFC, is that okay?
No, definitely not.
No?
Just with all the fats and all that stuff, you want to be eating cleanly as well. So, just your wholesome foods and proteins and keeping your greens up as well. But I'm no dietitian, so I can give you the nutrition advice, but I would definitely seek out dietitian advice.
But these are common sense. They're common sense, right?
Exactly.
So putting good fuel into the motor.
Everyone knows that going to fast food or something like that is just junk, and is not ideal for the body. That's for sure. So
I guess, and I teach my kids too that fast food is sometimes food. It's something that you can have on occasion. You don't have it all the time.
Yeah.
So I guess it's okay. And is it okay to have a few treats every now and then, or?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I like to have a couple of treats. My treats are burgers. Can't get enough.
Mate, everybody loves a burger.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to recap. So don't stand on the scales. Check in with the trainer. Junk food's kind of okay sometimes, but also too, we can't just throw any food in we want at any time.
Yeah.
And then we've got to make sure we're eating good, healthy food. What else would you recommend?
I guess just being like checking in with everyone, I guess, but having a good support system, having a good like-minded people around you to keep you, honest and hold you accountable. Especially like in my team, I've got like a little Facebook group page where we all hold each other accountable. Come up with any cool ideas. We all speak to each other. We catch up for morning walks or whatever. Just having that support system around you is always a big thing. So, because then you've got not just one person, you've got a whole group of people in your corner, and you can't really lose that way.
Absolutely. So I'm just putting down here too. So find like-minded people.
Yeah.
And I'm a big stats person. I know from my experience in owning and working in gyms too that you are 40% more likely to continue a goal or hit a goal if you're working with a training partner.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you're 40% more chance of winning the lotto, you'd definitely be in the lotto.
I'll be definitely buying a ticket, that's for sure.
Your ticket to winning the lotto, though, for transforming your body and dropping body fat would have to be
training with a
training partner.
Yeah,
and keeping
common sense right there.
Also, common sense is not so much common sense, is it?
It's rare sense, isn't it?
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true, my friend. All right, and so that's pretty cool. What else would you recommend? I mean, if I'm looking at choosing a trainer, which is always a hot topic, and trainer's effectively a coach. So, and I've always said to Usain Bolt, any of the famous sporting legends, they have coaches. They have teams of coaches.
Exactly, yeah.
But how do I choose? Well, tell me, why should I choose a coach? And tell me something. What you are a coach. What do I need to know?
Yeah, so I think with personal trainers or coaches or anything like that, everyone needs one. Like I've got coaches as well. You know what I mean? I would look up at you as like a mentor for business and all that stuff. But like even talking about training, I have like my own personal trainer that will train me and give me all my right advice and all that stuff. So if it's for anyone, like personal training is not just for people that are overweight or need help with anything. So personal training would be for everyone and anyone. And the first thing I'd be looking for is knowledge, I guess, because obviously you don't want to train with someone that doesn't know what they're doing. So knowledge, and then what I've found with all my clients is showing empathy with all your clients, because having an understanding of where people come from and their lifestyle, their background and all that stuff is a big thing. So everyone's different and everyone has a different goal, so you can't just treat everyone the exact same, because everyone's different, so you need to treat them differently. And I think that's the biggest thing is someone like myself. I treat everyone with a good empathetic approach and have a good understanding of their lifestyle and their family, and not everyone's wanting to be a massive bodybuilder and stuff. So
no, I think most people, the majority of people aren't, and the work that goes into that is unbelievable. I was writing notes here because I like to write notes, but one of the things that I wrote down too, because you train my girlfriend Grace Donnelly, who is the owner of Fitness Cartel. Mm-hmm. And I did write training with your training partner and the stats though, but if I do train with my partner, and maybe some of you guys can train, I'm probably like 60% more likely to get killed by Grace, but she's 100% more likely to continue training with someone like yourself. Which that's another thing as well. I know that as, and this is coming from me being her partner and you her trainer.
Yep.
She comes back and she had the greatest workouts. So I'm saying push one more. She'll argue with me just because it's So, what do you do though if you've got a partner which is not supportive? And I know this is none of your questions because I really like to throw you under the bus.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
What if the partner's no, you can't do it, trying to give them bad food, putting a bit of pressure on? What do you then? I know you probably experienced this because I did as a trainer back in the day.
Yeah, that's a tricky question for me actually. But with having like a supportive partner, they need to be supportive regardless, you know what I mean? Because like not only is training good for the body, but it's good for the mindset as well. So I would definitely need a supportive trainer if I had a partner. Yeah. Or a supportive partner, I guess you could say. But I mean, where you're coming from is like maybe conflict of interest, I think. So I can't train any of my family. None of my family would listen to me. Yeah. Just being part of the family, like, oh, I can't do this. So they've always got something negative to say or something like that. So I think, get an outsider's point of view.
Yep.
So even that's where maybe Grace has approached me differently. Said, you know, you're the professional. You know exactly what you're talking about. Rah. So they'll listen to them. Yeah, more likely anyway.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. And I know there are some couples that train together, and I do look at it and go, wow, you guys are great.
Yeah,
and maybe it's on Instagram where it looks great, and they're in the car park punching on.
Exactly. That's it. That's social media in general.
Yeah, well, that is too. I mean, we're keeping it real here, guys. That's why we're just sitting here in the boardroom. I'm actually
just having a chat.
This is the script, which is a piece of paper that we're writing down as we go. We had hundreds of questions come in, so we kind of picked the top ones because we didn't want to be here all day and bore you with stuff. But the tips that Nathan's giving you are gold, and these are coming from years and years of experience. And as you guys know, me being part of the gym chains and stuff that I'm involved in, I'm lucky enough to have touched base with some of the best coaches and trainers and gym owners across the country by far. And this stuff too, it resonates with me because of what he's saying too is what I hear a lot as well from the really good trainers out there. And if you just go with the trainer that's good at training people, you're not really going to get the result. You need to gel with them.
Exactly.
You have to get along with them. You have to like them. So having a trainer that's a dickhead, you won't get along with, and you probably won't stay with them for very long. But having someone that you can, because you kind of build a friendship with that person as well. And then back to when I was a trainer too, people would call me and say, Nathan, and as a trainer too, I guess you'd have to say this is the boundary, which I'm at a restaurant, it's 10 o'clock at night, what can I order? And I'm like, I'm at home in bed with my family. You leave me alone.
Another thing as a personal trainer, like I would always say to a lot of people that would ask me, you know, how's personal training as a business? I'm not a trainer. I'm more of a therapist than anything. A lot of my clients would come up to me just to have, you know, a conversation about, you know, what's happening at home or what's happening, you know, outside, you know, how good my kid's doing or, you know, something like that. So I'm not just a personal trainer. I'm almost like a mindset. I'm almost like an unofficial therapist for, you know, a bit of a coach like that way. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things back when I was a trainer too that I stopped doing it for. Not that I enjoyed the training part of things, but I kind of realized that you do have to do that. It's a full-time, because people have things going on in their life and they're not motivated.
Exactly.
And you have to be motivated. You have to motivate all these people.
Exactly right, yeah.
It kind of doesn't work with me having a group of gyms and having heaps of staff and trainers I need to motivate. But anyway, we'll work backwards from that. But that's a really good point as well. What about the other question is fasted cardio? There's a debate about fasted, non-fasted. What do you recommend?
Me personally, I like to do it fasted. Yeah. But mind you, I'd still have, like, at the end of the day, if you're counting your calories and you're doing all that stuff correctly, you'd still having the same amount of calories, but you just have to account for the extra bit of calories that you're using. Yeah. I guess so. But me personally, just being lighter in the stomach. Yeah. A bit faster cardio. It's just easier. Nice black coffee in the morning. Yep, smash that down.
No, that's a good. I've always found too, those, you know, he said what I call my fat pants, the pants that are really tight. As soon as that happens, my fasted cardio comes straight out. It's time to get up at 5 a.m. Have the black coffee, 30 minutes of walking, heart rate up and down. Exactly. Just trying to shock the body a little bit, which certainly shocks the body because. All right, mate. I'm getting another question for you too. These are all coming to me.
Yeah, cool.
I probably should have asked you the millions of everyone else asked these, but
that's all right.
These are some of them that I did ask. I actually read this the other day and just reminded me. Getting up at 4. I know you get up at 4 a.m. and really early. Mm-hmm. Don't tell me you love getting up at 4 a.m.
No, I don't. I used to. When I first started, I was actually competing when I first started working here at World Gym. So I was up at, I had clients at 5 o'clock, so I'd have to make sure that I get my training session in, or my fasted cardio, which I'd do 45 minutes to an hour. And that's the way I like it. I could have done something a bit more intense, like a HIIT session or some boxing or something like that, something else. But I would just like going for a walk. So I would see myself waking up at good 3 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning sometimes, and then it was just wow, I'm losing so much sleep. But I didn't mind it then. I was so driven, and obviously when you have that goal behind you, that brings me back to goals. When you have that goal behind you, nothing can really stop you because you're already in that strong mindset. So
I'm taking your piece of paper now.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's funny enough because I was on a podcast with a gentleman last week too, and he was talking about, he said people that get up, he said I get up at 4:45 every morning, and he goes, and I hate it. And the reason he tells everyone he hates it is because there's only a really small people that actually do love like getting. I mean, I get up at 4 o'clock anyway, and my rule is to jump out of bed as soon as the alarm goes.
Definitely,
literally, boom, 5-second rule. Got to get up now. I will bump into the wall literally, getting up, and then I'll be walking to the thing. My clothes are ready to go, so I don't have to think about it.
Yeah, good point.
Bags, the gym bags ready. So that I'm going to throw this in for as one of the tips, one of my tips.
Yeah.
Because it sucks. And when I've opened up businesses too, we'd be up at 4 o'clock in the morning, finish at 11, then drive an hour home sometimes. And I was wrecked. And you can't do that, sustain that level of energy for a longer period of time without getting really sick.
Exactly, yeah.
But what I would do is I'd have everything I needed packed. So as soon as I got home, everything goes out, everything goes in. And then that way, because if you've got one excuse to make you not do it and you're not feeling motivated, you're not going to do it.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So that's why I wanted to ask, because this guy said the other day too, who's a good friend of mine, he's the same. He hates getting up that early in the morning. And I thought, is there actually people that really do love getting up that early? And if they do, are they going to bed at 11 o'clock at night like we are working on our businesses? Well, I don't know. That's a question. That's a rhetorical question, I guess.
Good to think about it as well. Like if you actually have that goal of, changing your body or whatever, if you're not having enough sleep, what happens when we sleep? We're recovering, and allowing that body to recover is so important. So, you got to really allow yourself to have that time as well. Yeah,
I do try to sleep faster, but it does.
Faster.
I do knock myself around.
Yeah.
All right, goals, Nate. Tell me 3 goals that you use personally. I know your business is really successful. You've got heaps of trainers at the moment.
Yeah.
Heaps of trainers, heaps of clients.
Heaps of clients, yeah. During COVID, the biggest thing was changing my business model. So having a vision is a big thing. And creating action. So actually making action on it.
Action plan, yep.
Action plan. And then just following it through, I guess.
Like the follow through. All right, if I was going to explain this in a way, I've just started fitness, or back to where we said the COVID body, tie it all in together, and you've given me all those tips. What about this? So what are my goals? I've never trained. I hate gyms or I hate fitness. Sucks. I watch all those. I'm scared. Everything looks like. Everyone thinks of big old school bodybuilders, obviously because of how massive I am. I'm not really, but how massive people think, or their perception of what people think gyms are like. And
exactly, yeah.
I mean, we're at a gym too where most of the members are here between 40 plus to 98 years old, which are George. Yeah. And their goals are to stay alive every day, which is cool. I mean, that guy just said, all I want to do is live another day. And I'm like, wow, it's pretty cool. And he wants to get the most out of every day. But tell me, so what would you say? I walked in the gym, I've got a bit scared, or I'm going to go do some fitness. What are my goals, and I'll do one question, because that's what my girlfriend does. She asks me all these questions together and I get scared and I don't know which one to answer first. What are some goals we could set for a new person exercising?
Well, the first thing would probably just having a nice personalized program, designed for that person to see what they actually, want to achieve, so asking them, what their lifestyle is like, what are they actually doing, have they got any injuries, are they, what precautions they're taking at the moment, their work life. There's so many different variables to take into account, even doing goal setting and all that stuff. But if it's just designed around training and all that stuff, I would literally just get them on a full body session, just to get them started, get the whole body moving, and that will start a chain reaction really, because once the body's moving, there's blood flow throughout the body, and you start feeling a lot better about yourself. So, and if they don't like training in the gym, go pick up some martial arts training. I like doing boxing myself. Yeah. So I do a bit of kickboxing and MMA training on the outside. Not very many people know that, but yeah, good stress relief, and that's probably what I recommend.
And you probably, you don't know too, I'm into Kung Fu a lot. My dad's Bruce Lee. You probably haven't heard of him. Anyone else knows that. All right, so I've got a specific plan. We've got a full body session. Yeah. So you were saying, so the more you move, the more you burn?
Well, and you feel better about yourself. So then that's obviously creating.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So creating positive vibes and progress. So the more progress you have, the more you're going to do it. So you can see more results.
I am a big advocate for mental health because I would consider myself pretty successful in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I came from nothing, so it was like, for me, having $5 or being able to own a car or a house or even a car was for me like big deal. Yeah, I've really won. But my mental health too, when I don't train, after 3 days, I'm ready. I'm like, I've had enough.
On edge, hey?
I was ringing my mum, going, Mum, I've failed as a dad. I've failed as a business person. Tell me I mean, I know for me what works for me. What do you think are tips that I could say for someone that's they're struggling mentally? What would you do? I mean, you've got the client; they're really struggling. I'm down. What do you do?
Well, first I'll find out the issue. You know what I mean? So, like, whether it's, let's say conversation's sake, it's, I'm overweight. So the first thing would be like, let's lay down what we're looking at. How's your food? What are you doing for exercise?
Food.
Only that person can make the change. I can give them all the advice that they want, but up to that person, if they can't, pull the finger out their ass for conversation's sake, and say, hey, I'm dedicated to do something. Let's get amongst it and do it.
No, mate, I agree. Totally agree. Because mental health and exercise training, I've still got great mates that just suffer with some severe depression and anxiety too, and they've been terrified. Those mates of mine, one of them's lost 18 plus kilos now. He's remarried, got kids, and like he tells me that's because of exercise. Now that wasn't me.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even his trainer. I'm just his mate. We just trained together, and then he continued training. But I've seen firsthand the results it helps on people, and I've also seen the results it's worked for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, and doctors and exercise is the magic pill.
It is.
It is the magic pill for mental health. Like, it's not going to cure it, but it's going to help, right?
Definitely. And it's almost like, so I'm an ex-smoker. So I used to smoke for about 12 years.
Smoking the dance floor.
I wish, mate. I wish I knew. No. But so I'm an ex-smoker, and the biggest thing for me was, I didn't like it anymore. And the reason why I didn't like it, I didn't like people going, hey, you stink, because the worst thing about smoking is you smell. And, well, that was for me anyway. So the thing, what I did is I quit cold turkey and went straight to fitness and started training. And that changed my whole mentality of, hey, why don't I just, look after my body now instead of destroying it. And then I was just like, fitness was the new drug almost. So
well, it is the healthiest thing you can do to your body. Nathan, I want to thank you, mate, for coming.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
For our viewers out there, how are we going to find you? How are we going to find Nathan Howe?
So you can contact me on my Instagram at Nathan L. Howe, or via Fitness Cartel as I'm one of the ambassadors here. Or I train out of World Gym at Tweed Heads.
Too easy, guys. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you.